Welcome to the All for the Gators podcast.
All right, getting back on track. It's the All for the Gators podcast. The band is back together. Andy and Sid are my co-hosts. I'm John Spano. Andy back from some Hurricane Ian relief. Andy, how you doing?
Doing well. A little tired, but I'm ready.
All right, Sid.
Glad to be back. Glad to have Andy back. Thank you for saving Florida, Andy.
We got a lot to talk about before we get to our Gator guest today, who is going to blow your minds today, guys. I mean, when we first started talking about doing this podcast, there are a handful of players that all three of us would really, go nuts if we had the opportunity to talk to them. And this is one of them, gentlemen. So buckle up.
Oh, boy.
Buckle up, he says.
You can find us on Twitter, A4TG Podcast, and Instagram. I am Spano_rocks on Instagram, and Sid is Sid Kafka on Instagram. Andy, still not doing the social media, are you?
Still off the grid.
All right, we'll get you on there one day.
Adds to the mystery.
Let me fill you in on something since you're not on social media. Dan Mullen has been trending every Sunday. Do you know why?
Why?
Because Gator fans are going nuts about how good Dameon Pierce is doing in the NFL. Let me tell you this. Dameon Pierce has more rushing yards than Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Ezekiel Elliott, and Joe Mixon, and a lot of others. Can you guys believe that?
Wow, that's amazing. Very impressive. Go Gators.
Yeah, Andy, you got him on your fantasy team, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You want to trade him?
I'm always open to trades.
Yeah. All right. Something else that we need to touch on here, the University of Florida Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2022.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. We got Joe Hayden from football. We got Jeff Demps from, of course, men's track and field and football. Connor Dwyer from men's swimming. We got Michelle Moultrie from softball. Chandler Parsons, men's basketball. Christian Taylor from men's track and field, and Mr. Mike Zanino from baseball. He's an old favorite of ours.
Oh, yeah. Catcher.
That's an impressive class.
Sid, what do you know about Chandler Parsons?
Yeah, Sid's the basketball guy.
I'm pretty sure he was Billy's last good player, wasn't he?
I think so. I mean, he was the last big name that I remember anyway.
Well, he had a good run there in the early part of his career with Houston and Dallas, where he scored 15-5, 16-6, 15-7, 13-7, was shooting in the high 40s, 48%, 49%, and complete player, 5.3, 5.5, 4.9 rebounds.
Well, he had a great career at UF, that's for sure.
That he did.
And he is now in the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Somebody else that should be in the Athletic Hall of Fame, our guest today, who I am very excited to get to. But before I get to that, man, I was in the car earlier, and I heard Naughty by Nature, OPP.
Wow.
And it just made my day.
So, John, you're going to tell us who the guest is or what?
All right, today's Gator great was arguably the best wide receiver to ever don the orange and blue. Already showing flashes of greatness at Rains High School in Jacksonville, Florida, he hauled in the game-winning touchdown in the state championship as a junior in 1997. In 1999, he was redshirted by the Gators, but that was just the calm before the storm. In 2000, he would destroy secondaries every single Saturday, going on to lead the SEC that season in catches, yards, and touchdowns. In 2001, he dominated just the same. To this day, he is the only UF wide receiver ever to have two 1,000-yard seasons. He was All-SEC, a consensus All-American, won the Paul Warfield Award for the nation's top wide receiver in 2001, and would rank second overall in Gators history in career receiving yards with 2,375, fourth in touchdowns with 27, and ninth in receptions with 138 when he decided to go on to the NFL after only playing 2 seasons. He would no doubt have been number 1 in all 3 if he stayed 1 more year, and would have absolutely obliterated them if he stayed for all 4. He was drafted 33rd overall by the Houston Texans, and also laced them up for the Pats, Broncos, Redskins, and Dolphins, and finished his 11-year pro career with more receptions and yards than NFL Hall of Famer Lynn Swann.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as wideout number 10 in the swamp with the breakaway speed, snatching bullets from Rex Grossman for touchdowns left and right. I give you Mr. Derek Jabar Gaffney.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
This is amazing.
That's a Mount Rushmore right there. That's for all 3 of us.
That's right. We did our last show with Chris Doring, Jabbar, and we did a Mount Rushmore of Gator wide receivers, and you were on all three of our Mount Rushmore, sir.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I'm glad y'all was so nice to put me on there.
I mean, you were at UF the same time we were.
That's right.
So maybe that plays a part in, being a sentimental favorite. We got to see you
Oh, yeah.
live in the swamp. It'd be a massive understatement to say that we were stoked to have you on with us today, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on here.
All right, so let's start with your family. Your father, Derek, was a wide receiver at UF as well, mid-70s, and then he played for the Jets in the NFL for 8 years. Your uncle, Don, was UF's first black starting quarterback from 73 to 75. I'm assuming you were pretty much groomed to ball out on the football field at an early age.
Oh, yeah. So as soon as I was born, they had a football in my hand and teaching me to run routes and everything about football.
Were you around the NFL locker room much?
Yeah, my dad used to have me around all the time. I was up there in New York. He had me up there in the locker room and out running out on the field with all his other teammates' sons or whatnot.
That's awesome.
Are you a Jets fan?
Oh, no way.
Only you, Sid. You're the only one.
Not the only time. I'm the only Jet fan in the room.
No liking the Jets for me.
Who do you root for? Who's your team?
I pull for the Patriots. I'm more of a Patriots fan, and I pull for the Jaguars, just being from Jacksonville.
Yeah, you were born in San Antonio, right? And then you ended up in Rains High School in Jacksonville. How'd you end up there?
My dad was out there playing. I think they were playing Houston at the time, and I have my mom's brother stays in San Antonio, so she was out there visiting him, and I decided that I wanted to go see the game. I wanted to make that my first game, and shortly afterwards, we came to Florida and was raised in Jacksonville.
So you go to Rains High, you make the state championship clinching touchdown catch, right? You bring in that first state championship, which I believe was the first for a public school in Duval County history.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Were you being recruited at that point, or was that kind of the launching pad for kind of the recruiting activity for you, that play?
I was getting recruited at that time, and that kind of elevated it and put me in a different stratosphere, kind of speak, I guess. Got a whole lot more offers after that one.
Were you a Gator fan being in Jacksonville? I mean, what brought you to UF? When you're considering other schools out there, you see all the time today, they have players have 3 hats up there and make like a game out of it. If you did something like that, what other hats would have been up there with us?
It would have been Notre Dame. It was at Notre Dame, and I really liked Georgia.
You made the right choice.
Yeah, I definitely made the right choice. Well, I only like Georgia because they had my favorite colors growing up were red and black, and they had the G on their helmet, so I thought that was pretty cool that it would be Gaffney and red and black. But they decided otherwise, and they let me get in the Georgia-Florida Hall of Fame in the orange and blue side.
In 99, you were redshirted, and then there's an incident, and now we all make some dumb decisions as kids, right? And it involves some cash and a watch taken from a UF locker room during the high school state championships.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Spurrier ends up dismissing you from the team, and you end up completing a pretrial diversion program, and the head ball coach brings you back saying, and I'm going to quote here, "Everyone who makes a mistake, hopefully, will have an opportunity to change and earn their reputation back." How do you feel about Spurrier giving you that second chance?
Oh, I love him for that, man, and I was just wanting to make sure that I didn't let him down, and I just came through on that second chance, and that's what I took the field each and every week, just appreciative of that chance to be back out there.
So you come out swinging in 2000, right, leading the SEC with 71 receptions, 1,184 yards, 14 touchdowns. The Rex to Jabar connection was real.
Oh yeah.
How did your life change after exploding onto the scene, becoming one of the best receivers in pretty much all of college football after just your first year playing?
It kind of stayed the same because I was the same guy before that, and I was the same guy after that, and I had a good supporting cast that just kept me humble and kept me in a good mind frame.
So let's talk a little bit about that Rex Jabar connection. What was your relationship with Rex? Kind of, I guess I would say on the field and off. You guys hanging out afterwards?
Man, Rex, we were real cool, man. We were hanging together on the field, off the field, and that's where we kind of got things going. The year that we redshirted, we were running the scout team together, and we used to be out there just trying to destroy the starting defense each and every week with whoever we were playing that week. We kind of built that bond there, and it came into tuition that following season when we both got on the field and both got the starting job.
Did you guys have success against the defense when you guys were on the scout team?
Oh yeah. I think we gave them a better look than they got in the games.
Well, it definitely
we
translated. That's for sure.
Yeah. We didn't take it easy though. We used to be out there. I mean, that was our only time to shine. So that was the time we got to get our work in.
Do you guys keep in touch today?
I haven't talked to him in a while, but we used to stay in touch all the time.
All right, Jabar, I'm gonna play a clip here.
Comes the blitz, quick flip, caught. Did he hold it long enough? The official says yes. Oh boy, is that going to be controversial.
I remember that game.
Gaffney, the freshman.
Right on the line looking at this, and he made the call, touchdown, as soon as the ball hit the belly. I mean, the arms went up right there. Boy, oh boy.
Was it a catch or not a catch?
Oh, it was a catch.
Absolutely, it was a catch.
It was a catch. We got the win and got out of there.
Man, that was a game.
Yes, it was. It was definitely a great game.
That essentially sent us to the SEC championship game because Tennessee was the big dog.
Yeah, it did. That was the big game back then. Florida, Tennessee. Whoever won that game was gonna win the East.
All right, I'm gonna give you some hard truth here. Werfel and Tebow win the Heisman. Rex obviously should have won it in 2001. Biggest robbery there.
Definitely.
Crouch was ridiculous. For every Werfel, there's an Ike and Rydell, right? And every Tebow, there's a Percy Harvin. For every Rex, there's Jabar Gaffney. So do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much of Rex's success do you feel could be attributed to your play?
Well, it's to both of us. I mean, we just had that bond together, man. Like I said, from our year that we came in redshirt, we both put in a lot of hard work. And I mean, Rex stats, I mean, they speak for himself. Right, he was throwing it to me. Also had Riche and Taylor Jacobs. So I mean,
oh yeah.
So there was a lot of guys out there catching it. Rex, he threw a real pretty ball, and made it real easy for us.
He sure did.
I was going to say, so I'm a big Packers fan, Jabar, and I'm missing Devontae this year with Aaron Rodgers. They had that chemistry where they didn't have to say anything. They just kind of looked at each other, and Rodgers knew exactly where Adams was going to go. You and Rex have something similar to that? Is that kind of part of your success?
Yeah, we'll be the same way. We'll be out there. We'll see it, and we just have that look, and we will know what to do. We got a cornerback that was brave enough to try to walk up and play me man to man with no cover, no safety help over top. We were going to take it up top.
I miss it.
You do.
Yeah, it was good old days. Fun and gun.
You miss it from the Gators, or do you miss Devontae Adams?
That's right. I miss it from both. Love to see some of that on the Gators this year.
Yeah, we get there.
When I bought my first house, and me, Andy, and Sid go back a long way to like grade school, and then we went to UF at the same time, and stayed good friends since. So when I bought my first house, I think it was like 2003. Andy, do you remember the two? So I bought you got to get the big wall unit, right? With the TV and all the sports collectibles around it. So do you remember the two photos I had to have up?
Wasn't it Rex and Jabar?
Yep. A signed 8x10 of Rex on the left and a signed 8x10 of Jabar on the right. And that made my house complete.
Oh, nice.
I had to throw that out there.
I appreciate that.
So let's get back to right before 2001. There's an incident where a 15-year-old kid tries to steal your motorized scooter, and you catch him and you hold him in your apartment till the cops come. The parents of the kid allege that you beat him, and the charges are later dropped because it's found out that both parents have a lengthy rap sheet of their own, a criminal history, including grand theft and stuff. Do you feel this incident affected people's perception of you? And by people, I mean like UF officials, media, maybe the college football hype machine.
No, I don't think so, because it was ultimately dropped in. I mean, the kid was out there stealing, and we just happened to catch him out there trying to steal a scooter, and then they tried to flip it and make him the victim of it. We didn't do anything wrong. The charges were dropped, and everything just kept on going.
Did he try to run from you?
That wasn't going to work.
It wasn't getting away. I just got that scooter.
All right, let's talk a little more about the football field a little bit. Your 2001 campaign in the Swamp, man, it's like just as dominant, in your second year. You had 67 catches, 1,191 yards, 13 touchdowns. At that point, you're pretty much at the top, especially the UF record book. Every statistical receiving category, you're pretty much on your way there. But, before you can break all those, you decide to forego your last 2 years. What went into that decision kind of to leave early at that point?
Once the old ball coach left, I was all set. I was coming back.
Oh.
I was coming back for another year. I wanted I wanted the chance to get that Biletnikoff and win a national championship. But when Spurrier left, and then came down, I waited almost to the last day before you had to declare, and I was trying to wait to see who the offensive coordinator was going to be. And we had Zook was the head coach, but we didn't have an offensive coordinator named at the time. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to take my chances with NFL.
And you spoke of the Biletnikoff Award. So you win the Paul Warfield Award that's named after the great Browns and Dolphins receiver in 2001. You were a finalist for the Biletnikoff Award. Mm-hmm. And both of those are given to the nation's best wide receiver. You're also voted the team MVP by your teammates in 2001. So which one of those honors are you most proud of, and why?
It's the team MVP. The team MVP. Being a freshman, a redshirt freshman, and being voted the MVP of the team, that was big. That was real big for me.
And then after, in 2001, you leave us at the University of Florida, and we were very sorry to see you go. If only Coach Spurrier could have stayed one more year for us. Obviously, you were then drafted number 33 and first pick of the second round by the Texans. Where does that moment rank for you? Like being born in Texas, that must have been extra special for you. What do you remember about that experience?
I remember I was sitting around, and I thought I would go a whole lot higher, but it was what it was. I ended up getting out to Texas. That was great. It was a great experience out there. Loved the city of Houston. It wasn't quite like Gainesville and going to Ben Hill, but it was fun. It was definitely a fun way. It was better than going up to Green Bay and freezing.
That's why we live in Florida now.
Right. Exactly.
They got the G on their helmets.
Right. They did have the G. Did have the G. That would have been cool.
Well played, my friend. Well played. So you put up some pretty solid numbers there for the Texans when you were there. What was it like having Andre Johnson there, future Hall of Famer? Unfortunately, a former Cane, but he was still pretty good.
Oh, Dre was a beast, man. He was a good guy on the field, off the field, even a better man. I like Dre, and he put in work. And he just pushed other people to be great as well.
Yeah, he was a machine. I don't know that he gets the credit he deserved. Do you think that's kind of because the team was a little mediocre, kind of his whole career? He really,
Yeah, being a mediocre team, not really getting the chance to go to the playoffs and having that big moment, and just being more of a quiet guy and just let his play do his talk.
One more thing about the Texans. So one thing I did notice is when you went there, you were number 86 instead of 10. Mm-hmm. Was that back when the number range was restricted, or was 86 a choice for a reason?
Yeah, no. The first year we couldn't have the low numbers my first year, and they changed the rule my second year, and then so as soon as I got the chance, I went back to that 10.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you went back to 10, especially the rest of your career. I think you wore 10, right?
Yeah, I was 10 the rest of my career. The 86 was just heavy. It felt heavy on me. Didn't feel like myself. I felt a whole lot lighter in 10.
After your rookie contract is up with the Texans, you make a pit stop in Philly, but then you sign with Belichick, Brady, and the Patriots. Were you excited to have a shot pretty much every year to go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, most definitely. Being there, you always knew that you had a chance each and every season, and that was something great to play for after being in Houston for the 4 years and not coming nowhere close to sniffing the playoffs.
How was Belichick as a coach compared to Spurrier?
They're both great coaches. I say Belichick is a little bit more, I guess, he's more defensive minded, in tune with everything, much like Coach Spurrier. But I just say Belichick's a little bit more defensive minded. But Coach Spurrier, love the ball coach, man, and the offensive mind that he has.
The fun and gun.
Oh yeah.
So 06 playoffs, you're against the Jets, your dad's Jets, Sid's Jets. You catch 8 balls, 104 yards. Then the next week against the Chargers, you pull in another 10 for over 100 and another touchdown. Did you feel at that point you were starting to really fit into that offense?
Yeah, that's when I felt like I was becoming a part of it. I came over mid-season and then started getting my feet up under me and was able to start contributing a whole lot more once the playoffs hit. That's why I feel like I came into my own over there.
Gotcha.
Chicken or the egg question. As a Jets fan who suffered for nearly 2 decades with the Patriots there, is it Brady or Belichick? Who do you think had a bigger impact on all that success?
Well, that's tough. It's tough. Belichick definitely he put you in a great situation. They have to say Belichick. I mean, he got more control over everything, but it doesn't hurt having 12 out there.
Oh, he definitely pulled his weight.
It definitely doesn't hurt, but Belichick, he puts everything together.
Are you surprised 12's still playing?
Nah, man, that guy, he probably play another 10 years if he can. He just has that competitive edge, and for some kind of reason, he's aging backwards and getting younger and not older.
It does seem like it,
right?
With all those injuries in Tampa, man, maybe you should give him a call.
I know. They running thin on receivers right now. I'm hitting the gym up. Might go get the second session in at the gym tonight.
So you get to the Super Bowl in 2007, and you witness David Tyree's catch, right, on the helmet. What memories of the Super Bowl stick with you to this day? And, how was it special for you?
It was special that's something that a lot of people don't really get to experience. So we tried to take that in. It would have been much better with the win, but it was a great experience. And I had my son at the time and getting to have him on the field with me and taking that in. It was real cool in that aspect. But that David Tyree catch, still don't like that.
Oh man. So after your time in New England, you move on to the Broncos. Your numbers start to rise a little bit. Statistically, you start to have some of your better years. You go from a solid receiver, but you're starting to really begin being what I'd call quote unquote impact player. You're getting over 100 targets a season. I think at that point, defenses are starting to scheme for you. What changed there? Was it the system? Was it Coach Shanahan? What was it that kind of took you to that next level?
Just start getting more opportunities. Coach Shanahan, they started looking for me and actually using me. And everything else was pretty much still the same. I was still, from the time I got in the league, I was always getting open. It was just about I started getting more opportunities, more balls my way, and was able to just capitalize on them.
You were still in Denver a little later on when fellow Gator legend Tim Tebow joined you out there.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he didn't play till the year after, what was it like being in the locker room and all that came along with it and all the extra attention?
It was cool. It was fun. It was fun having the Gator brother up on the team, and Tebow he put in work. He was every bit as advertised. He got a bad rap for I think no reason. From what we used to see, he can throw. He can throw, run. He was a competitor, and he ended up coming back and winning the playoff game, which is a lot more than a lot of quarterbacks in the league have done.
Very true.
Absolutely.
A lot of exciting finishes too.
Yeah, a lot of exciting finishes, and that's what. When the fourth quarter came, it was that Tebowtime was real. Tebowtime was really real.
Do you think he was too much of a celebrity for the NFL? Do you think that's what did him in?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of hype. Which he wasn't asking for. He just wanted to play ball. He wanted to play ball, but it had so much extra attached to him that it was kind of he was. It was like he was an A-list celebrity out there.
As an observer, I think my favorite team, the Jets, didn't do him any favors.
Can we stop talking about the Jets?
It's true. They ruined the poor guy.
It's a Gator podcast. Nobody cares about the Jets.
I got a question for you. So we talked last time with Chris Doring about, when the ball coach went to the pros and he brought a lot of them Gators back together and he got to play back with Warfel. Did you and Rex ever have any talk about that when you were, free agent or whatever?
Oh yeah, we talked about it and it actually ended up making it happen in Washington. We got to play together, so it was real cool once we finally got to make that happen.
So let's talk about that year in Washington. So you're traded to the Redskins and you put up your best numbers for a season in your career in 2011. You have 68 catches, almost 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. You're targeted 115 times. Now, having said that, you're released by Shanahan after that season. I checked the receivers on the 2012 Redskins. Josh Morgan, who? Pierre Garçon, okay. You got the Canes, you got Santana Moss and Hankerson. None of them really a better receiver than you. Why do you think Shanahan, made that decision?
He didn't really have no choice in the matter. They wanted my number. I wasn't going to give up my number. That was when they was drafting RG3. They wanted my number 10.
Wow.
Yeah, that was all over a number, man.
All over a number.
All over a number. Yeah, they called me and asked me if I was going to give it up. I was like, man, I'm number 10. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow, he wouldn't write you a check for that number? Isn't that what they do?
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do, but they just they'll take another route and they'll just cut me and to give him number 10 and then allow me to come back if I wanted to. But I was like, y'all doing stuff like that, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
How big of a check would it have taken?
It wasn't too much. I mean, just something to satisfy me losing my number 10. So probably about, I don't know, about 50, 60,000 maybe. Would have did it.
You wouldn't have gone back to that heavy 86, though, I'm sure.
No, heavy 86. I went up 1. I went to 11.
There you go. So speaking of 11, you round out your 11-year NFL career with the Dolphins and then retire. How tough was it to kind of leave football 1 year after really your best year? You know, how do you feel overall about how your career was looking back on it?
Definitely still had some more in the tank. Could have did a couple more years. Just wasn't really with it no more. I had got hurt that my last year, and then was going through personal things. So I had a divorce going on at the time, and so that was kind of a different thing, having to play the games without my family there, my kids at the game. So kind of just wanted to back focus and just be around them. So it wasn't really too hard of a thing for me to walk on away, but definitely still left a couple years out there.
Did any teams give you a call and say, "Hey, or we could use you"?
Yeah, the funny thing, the Jets.
I didn't bring them up, man. That wasn't me.
The Jets were calling me. They wanted me to finish up there. I didn't go. My head wasn't really in it at the time, so I didn't want to go out there and not have my head into it.
Sid would have had the jersey, that's for sure.
I swear I would have.
Yeah,
but he'd probably be wearing it today.
I'll tell you what, I was happy when he came down to the Fins.
Yeah, I remember
Absolutely.
that. I remember that. You were excited about that.
Well, what I used to do, Jabar, was in Madden, I would trade all the Gators to the Dolphins. So you were already a Dolphin to me. It was just a matter of time till you got there.
Right.
We'd win the Super Bowl, man. Congrats.
Right.
So let's talk about 2018. You have the vandalism accusation. The other Gator great, Lito Shepherd, we all know, cornerback, who was on actually your high school state championship team as well. And I believe you're, by marriage, cousins, right?
Yeah.
He accused you of vandalizing his car when he was in a restaurant, and there's video of this dude and this girl. And it's clearly not you. The guy's got no tattoos. You have alibis. Your attorneys uncover other evidence that it wasn't you. So the charges are dropped. Have you spoken to Lito since?
Yeah, I've spoken to him
Okay.
since then. I've spoken to him since then, hashed things out and tried to get that little thing past us and just move on forward.
Because I was going to say, if you could say anything to him right now, what would it be? But you've already hashed it out.
Oh, yeah,
So the beef's
we've
over.
hashed it out. He knows how I feel. Yeah, he knows I love him. That's my boy. That's my brother forever, man. But sometimes things happen and family always comes back together.
That's right. That's right.
As it should be.
You're right. Definitely.
Clearly, you're one of the most accomplished Gators, and it's certainly one of our favorites. Very exciting to be there while you were thriving. You haven't yet been inducted into the Hall of Fame. What do you think's taken so long? I mean, if anybody out there who makes those decisions listening, I think John's laid out a pretty good case for you. Anything you want to say for yourself so we could get you inducted next year?
Yeah, I've been wondering the same thing. I see everybody come in each and every year, and it's somebody that played after me going in. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe one of these days they'll remember what I did.
Jabbar, I was literally on the sideline for one of the games, and you caught a short pass that you turned into a 70-yard touchdown run, and you ran by us, and the whole team turned their head and saw you. It was like a comet shot by. Anybody who was in the stadium that day knows that you are one of the greatest Gators and belong in our Hall of Fame.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
That happened every week, Sid.
yeah, it should be coming sooner or later. Yeah, hoping for that. Most
It definitely should.
And also was with all those accolades that y'all mentioned, I was also the National Freshman of the Year. Only me and Emmett Smith was the only other player that did that. So I was like, if Emmett got in with it, I should be able to get in with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
When you think back and you look at your numbers and what they could have been, I'm sure. I mean, you had solid numbers in the pros. I mean, you made good money. But back at UF, do you regret leaving early and not having those records at all?
Yeah, I do. I do. I definitely wish I would have played one more, if not both of my final years. But I definitely wish I would have played one more. But it would have just I would have had pretty much every record if I would have just played like 4 more games. I just needed 4.
Oh, yeah.
4 games and you would have had every
I would have
record.
had every record with 4 more.
Yeah, for sure.
You're selling yourself short, maybe 3.
Right, maybe 3, maybe. Nah, but playing there, that was some of the best times of my life. And like I said, I didn't want to leave, and it was just like I was stuck in a situation. I was like, do I go? Do I stay? How's it gonna be? But I mean, looking back on it, it's always perfect vision. I would have stayed at least one more. It's no times like college, and it's no better place than down at University of Florida.
Do you get back to any games?
Yeah, I make it back to a couple games. Try to always get back to a couple games each year.
What do you think of this year's team?
I think we got a lot of promise. I think those two games that we lost, we should have won those. If we can get the offense and defense playing together at the same time, I think we'll be real dangerous this year.
Coach Napier has really done a heck of a job with our recruiting, and we landed 2 more defensive backs today. How do you feel about these recruits? I don't know if you stay up on who the Gators are recruiting, but what do you think about the recruits that he's starting to bring in?
Oh, he's starting to bring in what we need, the type of players that we need to get back to where we belong.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
And I think he's doing an excellent job, man. They can get these guys in, and they can get into the program, and they can come along and get brought up the right way in this system. And I think the sky will be the limit for those guys and for the program.
So you said earlier, you mentioned your kids. How many kids you got?
I have 3.
Boys, girls?
1 boy, 2 girls.
Does the boy play football?
He dibs and dabs in it. He's not 100% sold on it yet, but he has it. He has it in him.
How old is he? Are we going to have another Gaffney out there in the swamp?
Maybe. He's 16. He's 16 now. So if that light
16?
if that light turns on,
you better get him to that second session in the gym.
I know. I'm trying to get him there. He likes basketball and baseball too. So
all right, all-round athlete.
See what he ends up doing.
What's his favorite?
He likes basketball.
The Gators hoops need some more talent too.
Oh yeah, bring him on down either way.
That's right.
But yeah, we'd definitely love to have him on that field. Well, let's see. Got a couple more years with him.
Besides going to his basketball games, what do you do these days in retirement in your post-football life?
I just do a little real estate work and a little side training. I do training a couple of athletes.
You do speed training? Like we had Chris Rainey on, he's doing speed training.
Yeah, do a little speed training and wide receiver specifics.
So there we go. Jabar Gaffney and Chris Rainey, the new speed coaches at the Gators. We'll get some speed.
Yeah, we get those guys going, man. Get that speed back out there. We need some more of those big plays.
That's right. All
right. So Jabar was obviously one of the most electrifying players to play in the swamp. So let's end with this. Jabar, give us your Mount Rushmore of Gator game changers. How about that? 4 guys.
4 guys. The Gator game changers. I put myself up there.
Definitely.
I go with Percy.
Another good choice.
And let's say Fred, Ike, and I also go with my personal favorite receiver, Jack Jackson.
Jack Jackson.
Yeah, that was my guy there, man.
I hear that name a lot.
Jack Jackson.
I like that's a good Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
So hold on, I got 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can only be 4. You gotta take somebody out.
Oh, got to take somebody out. Well, I go me, Percy, Ike, and Fred.
So long, Jack.
Yeah, Jack the honorable mention.
Jack was the showman. I like Jack used to always get in that end zone and do some kind of dance and all that stuff. I used to love that.
What was your end zone celebration?
I didn't get to do too much. I got in trouble one time while I did the throat slash and and after that, Spurrier was like, "No, y'all just come back to the sideline. Give the ball to the ref." So we had to give the ball to the ref and come on back.
Like the Undertaker.
Right.
All right. Well, Jabar Gaffney, I mean, it's been an absolute honor. You've been gracious with your time. I, for one, can't believe we got you on the show. So it's a pleasure for all 3 of us. It's the All for the Gators podcast. And if you're listening, look out on social media. We're going to be doing a giveaway of a signed Jabar Gaffney card or 2. So look for those giveaways online. That's right. No, Sid, you can't have one.
You knew I was about to ask.
Every time. Yes, every time. So thank you, Jabar. We appreciate your time. It was amazing. You were amazing in the swamp. I mean, you gave us the memories. I mean, there are other Gator greats, but to be in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium as a student with the orange and blue blood running through our veins and watching you live, that's something special for us to be able to sit here and talk with you today. So thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm sure the other guys do too.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It was good times, man. Always.
Thank you, Jabar. You'll have to come back.
Oh yeah, anytime. I'll be ready.
All right.
Wow.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
One of my all-time favorite players and pretty darn good interview.
Guy that was on all 3 of our Mount Rushmores. John follows it up with Mount Rushmore guy for all of us. That's pretty cool.
Is that what I'm going to have to do now? Whenever we do a Mount Rushmore, I have to get somebody off that list on the next show.
I got a better question. I'd like to meet the Gator fan who doesn't have Gaffney on their Mount Rushmore. So, I think this is a pretty safe bet.
You said it right in the intro, man. If he would have stayed for 2 more years, he would have obliterated all those stats. My God, could you imagine what it would be like?
Like he said, he just needed 4 more games. He
Yeah,
didn't the whole season.
All right, so Jabar gave us his Mount Rushmore of Florida Gator game changers. He put himself up there, which is respectable, man. We got to put some respect on his name, man. Get him in the Hall of Fame. He also said Percy Harvin, Fred Taylor, and Ike Hilliard, and he gave an honorable mention. We'll let that slide to Jack. So now we're going to give ours. So Andy, why don't you kick it off?
All right. Well, I did this a little bit different, I think, than what you were thinking. But when I thought of game changers, I'm thinking of like game changers for the program. I got my 4.
Man, you're going deep.
Yeah. So
here we go.
Number 1, Tim Tebow. Should have 2 Heismans. Game changer, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Number 2, Danny Warfel. Led the team to the first ever national championship. Heisman Trophy winner. Game changer. Number 3, Steve Spurrier.
Oh.
No discussion needed.
Way to reach on some of these picks. So you just picked like the 3 Heisman winners. Okay.
That's right. And the 4th one, love him or hate him, especially for how he left, but you can't deny he was a game changer for the program. 2nd best winning percentage just behind Spurrier and 2 national championships. Urban Meyer is on my Mount Rushmore of Gator game changers.
I hope he doesn't hear this. He's going to have a heart attack.
Our listeners in Jacksonville might not be too fond of that assessment, but I guess.
I like how you took a different angle on that, Andy. It spices it up.
Yes.
I like it. All right, Sid, what do you got?
Okay, well, I did this a little differently. In my opinion, a game changer is somebody who does something that literally changes the game. So I'm not going chalk with our all-time Heisman champs here. The first game changer I'd like to present is Carlos Dunlap, greatly underappreciated defensive lineman who blocked a significant kick that we would not have made it to the title game if not for him. And he had a pretty good career in the NFL after. Kind of underappreciated. So I'm going 2 defense, 2 offense. Okay. I'll give you Carlos Dunlap.
Kansas City Chief.
Well, I hope he gets that ring.
Okay.
Next, I will go with the Freak.
Go with who?
The Freak.
Yeah.
Oh, the Freak.
On Curse.
Sid going all defense.
Game changer. Come on.
Right.
He is the epitome of that. The guy sacks galore.
Yeah.
Amazing play.
He was in my discussion for sure. I thought about it. Don't disagree with that one, Sid. That's a good one.
All right, very good. Jabar coming back to the offense, our favorite. You got to go with him. He's up there. He can catch a ball from anywhere on the field, and he could take it to the house at any moment. And in that same vein, I think we all have to agree Percy has to belong in there too. So, Andy, I don't have any overlap with you.
That's funny because last podcast we had all the same. So
I like how you guys put your own flavors on it.
We'll see if John actually puts Harvin on his this time since he left.
Here we go.
Yeah, John, tell us where we went wrong. Where do you got?
No, everybody's got their own opinion, and I appreciate it. I respect it. And here's mine. So, Florida Gator game changers, Mount Rushmore. My number 1, and I went with the perspective of when the ball's in their hand, it can change the momentum of the game. It can be a huge play, a touchdown. So my number 1, my first one, and this is not in any order, but Bo Carroll.
Oh,
one of your faves.
Explosive. Good choice.
Explosive. Kick returner, running back. So I'm going to go Bo Carroll. I'm going to go Percy Harvin.
Ah.
I couldn't leave him off twice. Come on, guys. He'd never come on the show. All right, so number 3, and I'm surprised you guys didn't remember him because it was very recent. Kadarius Toney.
I knew he'd be on your list.
Explosive.
All 3 of those guys, very explosive, very dynamic. They can play different positions. They can, you can set them out wide, and they'd be just as good as many wide receivers out there on the field. Very dangerous. And number 4, I don't know. I'm tied. Can I do an honorable mention like Jabar, or is that just for the guest?
I would say in honor of Jabar, you should throw an extra one on there. Go for it.
You can give us the 2, but then you're gonna have to cut somebody, just like we made Jabar do.
Fair, yes.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh man, that's tough.
There's only room for 4 faces up there. So
Look, Jabar, I love you, but Sid, you're on Sid's, so I gotta give it to Tebow. I mean, how do you not have Tebow? I mean, probably the most explosive player, most dangerous player. Like Andy said, he probably should have had 2 Heismans and did have 2 national championships. So I got to put Tebow up there. But man, I mean, it really hurts me to not have Gaffney on there. But obviously, he's up there on my wide receivers. So those are my 4. We'll put it out there on social media. We'll see what our fans think. They can chime in with their Mount Rushmore of Florida Gator Gamechangers. Look on social media for our giveaways of some Jabar Gaffney signed cards. It's all for the Gators. A4TG podcast on the social media. Guys, it's been a pleasure, and man, it just gets better and better.
It does. John, I have a great idea for a giveaway. Why don't we have our listeners make their list of the Mount Rushmore? We could vote on our favorite, and the one that gets the best gets that signed autographed Jabar Gaffney prize.
Ooh, that sounds good. We could do that. And I think we're going to have 2. So
excellent.
One we do to have them retweet, right? So we get some more exposure in the social media. We got to play that rat race.
Of course.
And 2, I like your idea. We'll have them chime in, and we'll reward who we think has the best one. But if they agree with you, you're going to vote for them.
We could give away the signed Jabar Gaffney picture that you have above your bed.
Never.
Can I submit an entry to get that?
I don't have a signed Jabar Gaffney picture above my bed. Ridiculous.
It's in a different room.
It's over the dresser next to my bed. Come on. All right, guys. Awesome. Once again, we'll do it again next week. It's been the All for the Gators podcast. Take it easy, guys.
Go Gators.
Great show. Go Gators.
Go Gators.